Good evening and welcome to this meeting of Recreation and Amenities, today, the 7th of May. First item on the agenda of apologies for absence. Don't believe you've received on that. Thank you. Are there any declarations of interest from anyone around the table? I see none. We move on to public participation, where I also see none, unless a councillor would like to speak as a member of the public. No, okay, we'll move on to agenda item 4, which is the minutes of the last meeting. Are there any comments, queries, questions? No, are we happy to present? Thank you, Councillor Buckley. All in favour? Thank you very much. We're in danger of doing this super fast, even by RNA standards. We'll now move on to the progress report, which is on page 9. And just to give some substance to the meeting, what we're going to do is go through it one by one. It's my turnout for a bit. Yeah, turn up the bit. So the first is the Makings Recreation Ground Basketball Court. Councillor Dodds.
Thank you. I'm really glad we're going to arrange an opening. I think it's a great pity we haven't been able to contact George and his mum Stephanie. I've been in touch with somebody who does know them and asked them to email me, and I've heard nothing. But the mum was very surprised she's heard nothing from us. And I know we've sent her email, whether they've changed their email or whatever, but maybe if the Henley Standard hears this, they might be able to track George and mum down, because it would be really nice to have them, since it was the young boy coming to us initially that started the whole ball rolling. And it's a lovely example of how kids in the town can come and ask us.
If I remember correctly, the Henley Herald did a story as well, so they may have contact details. Also, we should ask both if we're struggling to get hold of George, because he should absolutely be there.
If we must make every effort to try and track him down.
Absolutely. But we also need to get this off progress, so
Exactly.
get it rolling.
Exactly. So we hope to have a date soon.
Moving on to riverbank repairs, self-explanatory. Is there anything you want to add?
Yes, so we've had the final report through with recommendations for what work is needed. I had that through late on Friday, so I need to go through the report and work out what work is required and what basically what work we want to prioritise, and in conjunction with the company that did the survey. We've separately had a quote for the work for the section bank that has collapsed in Marsh Meadows. To briefly talk about that, so it looks like when the current pilings were put in place, the depth of the river there was much shallower. So the pilings are, I think, only about something like 50 or 60 centimetres. The river there is now apparently a couple of metres deep. So what has happened is that with the stronger currents, then basically it's washed away the bank underneath the pilings. So it's just falling out the bottom of the pilings of the sheets, if you like, if that makes sense. When they were put in place, we don't know, probably 1980s or something like that. It's probably an educated guess. So a long time ago, and we don't know without a very, very in-depth survey, which would cost tens of thousands, we wouldn't know the extent that those pilings extend along Marsh Meadows. And we have had an indicative quote for that section of bank is £125,000. So yes. So currently my view on it is that it's been made safe as far as we can with it's been cordoned off, and as we have the survey, we will be putting that work out to tender hopefully very shortly. Then my suggestion is that we include the work on the collapse section at the same time, so that we can do it all. Hopefully there will be some economies of scale through, because a lot of the cost is the mobilisation of the equipment that you need to get onto site. So that's where we are currently, and I will hopefully have more news soon.
Thank you for that, and for the update on the collapsed bank. I think we're all looking for an update on that. Councillor Buckley.
And that collapsed bank. Is it the case that if we actually had more boats moored up over the winter, it would reduce the impact of the river?
No idea. We would probably need some kind of hydrologist to give us an answer on that. I doubt it because it's probably the flow. It's the flow.
The flow is the flow, but
yeah.
if you've got them at the top, or is it the fact that the boats are actually making it worse?
I don't think the boats are making it worse because we're talking deep down below.
It's very
the current
fast
sheets.
water though.
It's really fast. And
I would say that I would expect the part of the cause is the fact you have boats there more and consistently during the summer.
Mm.
The draw from the prop will effectively dredge the river.
Mm.
And this can be seen up and down the river where you have regularly moved moorings, they are a lot deeper than places where you don't moor. So the fact that the riverbank is maintained and boats, it's an attractive place to go, I suspect has had a significant effect on the depth of the river in that location, could be part of the reason for the piling rate.
Wonder what the average life expectancy of things like that steel planning. Because like you say, if it was done in the 80s, it was on the agenda to look at our riverbank repairs anyway, it has been for a while, so.
Can add a little bit on this due to, I've had an unfortunate amount of time spent looking at pilings due to my mother's flats needing to have these done and dealing with that on a commercial basis. So a cheap piling would last maybe 10 to 20 years. If it's very thin, what you're talking about is the quality of the steel, how deep it goes.
Well, yeah, the depth was
Yeah.
like the main,
So a good piling could last 50 to 100 years,
yeah.
but they are going to cost twice as much as a cheap bottom.
It would have been fen piling, I imagine, that would have done in the 80s, so.
I have
Maybe
no,
we can
I
get
have
some
no
history.
idea.
Okay, right. Moving on to steps into the river, that should be done by June. We'll take it off progress when it is. There'll be an update when it's done. Great.
Steps longer if the river's getting deep.
Multi-story river steps. Mill Meadows Bench Playground, work has started. Everyone's probably seen that when you've been down at Mill Meadows at some point. You had a site visit this morning. Is there anything you'd like to update?
Yes, we did. There are a couple of issues, nothing major, I wouldn't say. No. And everything seems to be progressing well. They were due to finish about the 17th of May. It now looks like they say they're going to be finished around about the 22nd of May, they say. And the aim is to get it opened by 28th of May. So it is close, but we're still looking broadly on track for it.
Do we have an opening date? Is the Sunday, the Saturday?
No,
weekend?
we don't yet. I wanted to see how today's meeting went
Is
to
that
do that.
bank holiday weekend, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah, it's, yes,
Yeah.
30, yes, that bank holiday weekend, so it would be quite nice for people to put it in their
Hmm.
diary. Of having kids over and visiting and things because of this big opening, lots of fun things happening. As soon as they can give us, and then we can get Daisy to put it out.
The idea is to get it out.
Well,
the-
if you got a bad one this time, you'll get a good one.
Yeah. The idea is to get it open for the start of the half term.
Yes.
But we'll take a view. We'll discuss with Daisy tomorrow and take a view on kind of when we plan for an
It's
open.
hard to give a date if you're not sure, isn't it?
Mm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Raise people's hopes. But
There could be a snag in the last thing that, takes a while to sort out, so.
no, it all looked good. I
Yeah.
was down there and saw you all there and got lots of pictures of you. And it's all looking good.
Great, so Maker into Recreation Realm, we'll discuss this at the next RNA meeting. There's not really an update for anyone now. You can see discussions are ongoing. And the final item on progress, which is Target Playground, as you can see, the patch repair's been done. And this item can now be removed unless anyone has a comment or question. I see none. We'll move on to agenda item 6, which is to note the management accounts to January 2024. And you can find that starting on page 11. Any comments, questions?
The only question is that eventually our budget were significantly under,
The eventually.
I think, so. Forecast where the budget 23K down. Is that any impact on us going forward?
It's been cold. I mean, it's coming into summer months and then we may do better. Will
Yeah,
it not
that's
adjust
what
as
I'm
we go through?
Yeah.
No, so, I mean, so the adventure golf, so it was a very bad summer last year, which really affected it. So yeah, so most of it was the effect of last year. Having said that, there is now a marketing plan in place to improve it. Our return on investment, we were expecting to basically pay for itself in between 4 to 5 years. With the kind of current projections, maybe it would be more 5 to 6 years. However, the return on investment is still really excellent, but we do need to make sure that we are maximising that use.
I think that's what I was gonna call it. It may look, because in my head, I'm looking at it like it may look like it's down, but actually the year before we were probably well up on what we said.
I think we need to do a really good job of promoting outside of Henley. So when you go down into our visitor information centre, you can see lots of leaflets and lots of posters for Didcot, Oxford, Banbury, you name it in Oxfordshire, it's there. I think some in Berkshire and Buckinghamshire as well. But we go to Didcot regularly for SODC meetings, and there's not one flyer for a single thing in Henley, not the River and Rome Museum, not anything to do with the town council. There is nothing telling people to hop on the train or hop on the bus, which is a really great bus service around South Oxfordshire in particular, between Wallingford, Tame, all of it really. You can get it's really accessible, and you can get to Henley just as easily. But we're not driving people here, I think. But I think that's something we need to maybe work on in market, because we had a youth congress here, which we'll bring back to future meetings. But I asked specifically of the adventure golf because the kids used to go down after school, and one of the kids did say, you've done it so many times now. And that will, the kids will grow up, more kids will go down and they'll use it until things like that. And the residents will come, they'll go every time my family comes over, we go down to see it. But we need to be bringing more people in from out of town to keep it doing really well, I think. And we've got so much at Mill Meadows, we can really market Mill Meadows as a destination for people to arrive by train or bus. It's for, minutes from each, and have like a full day of fun down there, I think, anyway.
One last question on that then. The lease on the restaurant, is that part of RNA or is that TLC?
It's a very sore subject, Tom. It's a very sore subject with me.
You should leave it right there.
But we shall find out.
So RNA covers the management of all of our assets, including the lease and lease properties, which includes the kiosk, and obviously it also affects Mill Meadows as well. So yes, although I think the lease renewals just be dealt with by FSM. If it's purely a financial or legal matter, then we usually just be dealt with directly by FSM.
Wasn't it the case we had an option for them to extend the?
So they have security of tenure because it's within the Landlord and Tenants Act 1954, let's say, which means that which basically means that yes, they can renew and they have the right to renew.
Very limited options. Sorry, it's not. Councillor Callahan.
Sorry, just to pick up on what you said about, making Mill Meadows a destination of choice, as well as promoting the great things that we have in Henley to outside external places, towns. How can that happen? Like, you've mentioned it just then.
Oh, right. So we obviously have a communications manager who deals with marketing as well. So that's one part of it. But we have our committees and our expertise around the table. We can make decisions on spending on a new leaflet that perhaps markets everything that's down at Mill Meadows. So, the River and Rome Museum, the adventure golf, the playgrounds, the food, the river, the wildlife trail. even the football club and learning cover, you know, whatever we wanted to put, we have the power to do those things, but we might be guided by the relevant officer and their expertise
Yeah.
in some cases.
So I think the other thing to note is, you know, Great Big Green Week, which Henley Town Council is supporting alongside Green Henley. There's this fantastic nature discovery day planned for everything around Mill Meadows, Marsh Meadows. That'd be a really good opportunity to, especially as we have just declared a nature emergency, we're tying really well with helping local people understand the nature that is right on their doorstep through this nature discovery day. So if there's anything that could be helped to promote that event as helping people come down to Henley and in particular Marsh Meadows.
Targeted advertising on social media can be really good. So whether you're a person, a business or a town council, you can choose a target audience. So you can choose the age group you want to hit, you can choose the geographical sort of catchment that you want to, you know, direct your communications to. So we can also utilize that if, but I think that's a Daisy sort of deals with that. She's got delegated power, she doesn't need our say so to, you know, do things like that, but certainly we can, as a council, you know, push what direction we want to go in and what we want to promote.
Yeah.
So the nature day. I think
Very
we'll
nice
take that.
comment, please.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it was just to say that Daisy has been working on marketing plans for weddings and venue hire, for the columbarium, and also for adventure golf. So those are the three main priorities, but I think then other marketing plans for other resources or other facilities will also be forthcoming after that.
Great.
Great, we done with the finance? Are we happy to note them? Any questions? None. Okay, we'll move on to the final item of the agenda, which is the water fountain for Mill Meadows. The report was by Sheridan. Would you like to add to it at all?
I don't have anything to add, but I'm very happy to take the question.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy with it, but I thought there was, what, before thing, it was just when we have like a drinking fountain as opposed to the water bottle top up thing, when it's actually, you know, all of it and you can sort of put your mouth there and get, which is still grosses me out, to be honest. It reminds me of school. Don't we have to have some sort of special thing like for Legionnaires or whatever? Is that, does it? No. We got all of that sorted anyway.
So it would, so there would be maintenance obligations on us for cleaning and for Legionella, we probably need regular Legionella testing, which we do at all of our facilities. So it'd be something to
Oh, so it's just easy.
something to add on, but it's something we regularly do anyway.
Okay, great. So you were about to propose it, weren't you? Was there a second?
Yeah.
You seconded it, or mentioned?
I was a bit surprised by the costs involved. I don't think the water fountain would be so expensive. And I do wonder if it is worth £800 to have a dog park facility. It's quite a lot for a dog park.
Ask your dog and see what he says.
But I'm broadly happy. I would have liked to have seen more data on the costs of ongoing maintenance, because I don't know what we're signing up for yet, apart from the capital. But in principle, we do need a fountain or something. If the council wants to have a dog bowl, I'll support it.
Yeah. Councillor Jackson, then we'll come to Councillor Dodds.
Does anybody use water fountains? Because you had a gag reaction, I would have to say,
Yeah.
about hygiene. Who uses the water fountain?
The water bottle thing, definitely, I know
Yes.
even my kids use those,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they're
that's
reluctant to do
all
anything reusable. It's the eco people that do it, isn't it? I can understand.
If you don't have a water with you, then how do you get some use from? I mean, I've
read
in the past, and I've had fun times when you don't have the easy to use water bottle that you know, you try to aim it to get it into the bottle, so, you know, people will use it, but I agree with you in terms of how you keep it hygienic, and that would be.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the new mayor will be installing this and can give us a demonstration for the photographs. That would be great.
People have a different view about.
Hygiene, yeah.
Something that everybody else has put that into.
But you don't, you don't.
It's a spout of water like that, and you
You just catch the water.
You never pick your mouth.
We've all been scarred by our primary school fountains.
Also, none of us have actually died yet.
Yeah.
Yes, like Roger Tyler. The movie see another guys in another metaverse doing.
So I think
Yeah.
what Councillor is saying is that we need to have some instructions. Let's not assume people will know how to use the belt, what that,
No,
you
yeah,
know.
fair enough.
Look,
gotta be a bit.
don't put your mouth over this bit,
Don't.
and it's a fair point.
Yeah, don't drink it from the door. That seems likely as well. Why does that seem more likely? Councillor Dodds.
I just think it's a great idea, actually. I think the location is good. I think that we can tap into the local water source. It'll be test, I mean, like all our premises, every 6 months they test for leaching. Yeah, I don't have a problem, you know, the water spouts up and go like that. And I think there's, every other person along there has a dog. And dogs get thirsty, those thirsties. So I think the location, I think you've established the need for it, I mean, that early intro. That was my first question, really, have people asked for it? Well, it looks that they have. So I think it's something.
Sorry, I've just realised it wasn't actually seconded and we carried on debating it, so I'm happy to second it.
Second.
Or you seconded?
No, you wanted to comment. I thought he was seconding and then I
Well,
went
seconded.
straight into debate and didn't follow the proper procedure, so I apologise.
I was second.
What, do you want to say? Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm aware that I think this is part of the meadow that gets flooded on occasion. So how flood resistant is this?
Question.
Is this item? Like, is it, if it's going to be submerged in water for X number of weeks?
Free
a
refund.
year, what is the impact of water on this?
Yes, good question.
So, the dog bowl bit may be submerged, the rest of it should be absolutely fine. But yes, it is completely flood resistant, so that would be fine. It would need a clean afterwards, but it doesn't affect the water supply.
Councillor Jackson.
How do the dogs operate the buttons?
Honestly, I've seen dogs that are really clever in this town. I think they'll work out the dog part of it
They have
before the humans work out the spout part of it. It's true though, isn't it? That's what's gonna happen.
We see those coming along.
Yeah, but
Those ceramic.
You could all use the top part.
Yeah, there you go.
I need, it's called inducing. When they install it, I need an induction.
There we are.
Oh, you're doing induction.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for the new mayor opening up there.
All three training. Yes.
Right,
That's true.
we have it proposed and seconded. Would anyone else like to say anything before we move to the vote? All in favour? That's carried unanimously. Wonderful, thank you. I think the Henley plastic reduction people, which councillor Sarah Miller is a huge part of Henley plastic reduction, will be really excited about this, so can't wait to let her
That
know.
was one of the only questions that didn't. This is being funded from capital. I appreciate that there are other budgets and greener Henley and climate change and things like that. I'm not gonna try and poach from other budgets, but is the capital, could it be spread across other things? If there was a concern. And it's probably the wrong side. We've voted it, it's fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's really.
No, answer it, please.
We tend to have kind of like a hierarchy of where we want to take money from first of all. And usually we want to take it from capital,
Okay.
before we take it from,
budget.
income and expenditure. But yeah. So that's
It was, yeah, minor question.